All right, we have a new episode. Hi everyone, it's Isabella here and welcome back to the I've Got You podcast, where I'm your host, Isabellanter, have got you on a wide variety of topics. And today I'm feeling inspired. When this video is going up in September, including the month of September, we have September, October, November, December. We have 4 months left in 2024. And so some people are like, oh God, like the holidays are coming up. So much is happening. Like I haven't accomplished a lot. Like what am I doing? I want to talk about 10 life tips that I think you need to get started to finish up strong in 2024. 10 life tips that I think are good for anyone in general, things that I'm starting up on, and kind of make it like a collective challenge of like, these are the things I think you got to start on, whether they're like a habit, whether they're a mindset, whatever the hell it is. We're going to talk about 10 things that I think are game changers that I really believe you got to be hopping on, like life-changing tips that add to your existence, that just make life better. I'm trying to look at these last 4 months of 2024 as an opportunity to see what I can do and how I can invest in myself to the best of my ability. We've plowed through a shit ton of the year already. And if you're needing just a little, like, not necessarily a reinvention of yourself, but like a little boost, if you will, a little extra, maybe kind of like a video that guides you on the right track, this is going to be for you. Before I hop into today's video, you guys know the drill. Hit that subscribe button, or if you're listening on Spotify, don't forget to leave a 5-star review whenever you can, because I would greatly appreciate it. And make sure to follow along because we have tons of good content coming. And yeah, let's get into the first one. First thing we need to talk about is number one, invest into yourself and start investing into yourself. Now, I don't want anyone perceiving this as spending money. There's a lot of people, whenever you use the term investing yourself, they think that requires a lot of money. And I really hate that perspective because that's exactly the opposite of what I'm going for. Now, don't get me wrong. If you want to find a ways of investing yourself, like maybe investing in like a high quality leather jacket, like investing in long-term pieces, investing in a good skincare routine, like those things I understand. I'm talking about hobbies and knowledge. That's where I'm zoning in. I actually have come to realize that there are many things I don't know. Now, I'm newly single and I already had this motivation before when I was dating someone, but especially now I'm trying to really create new challenges for myself of like, okay, what can I do? What can I start up? And I think everyone needs to find ways of investing in themselves, whether that's learning a new hobby, getting into something that they enjoy, or just absorbing more around you in regard to knowledge. So for example, I'm going to throw out some random ideas for you that I've been thinking of hopping on and just what I think you could be doing. YouTube is an amazing source to learn anything. So I'm sitting here like, what can I learn? What can I get involved with? And this is going to sound so incredibly silly, but as a single woman who hates taking her car in to get it fixed for basic shit, I really wish I had more of an understanding about my vehicle. And that might really random, really silly, but I'm sitting here like, okay, well, if a guy can learn it, I surely can learn it. If any other random person can figure out how vehicles work or learn how to change a tire, I most certainly can. So that's one thing I'm literally going to try and learn is I'm going to go out of my way to watch YouTube videos and things and try and attempt to do certain things with my vehicle and fix stuff. Now, I know that kind of sounds intimidating because it's something I don't know shit about. I really don't. Again, I have to start somewhere, but that's one thing that I'm literally challenging myself on to go and learn about. Another thing is starting a new book. I'm actually trying to get back into reading. And when I'm talking about reading, that does not mean you need to go read a nonfiction book that is a memoir of Edgar Allan Poe. I don't really know. Okay. But like, you don't need to do that. Do things that are fun for you because you also want to make sure that the things that you're trying to get into, you have genuine interest in. So you can do things that are either adding to like your wealth of knowledge, or you can also do things that are incredibly fun for you. So how I'm balancing this out is what's strictly for fun and going to be a new hobby, and then what's going to be on the other side where it's like, I'm trying to learn this and I know it might be hard, but I'm learning it because I want to be very knowledgeable about the specific thing. So I think having something in both categories is incredibly smart. I love painting. I thoroughly enjoy it. So that's going to be my hobby on the fun side, right over here at the fun side of like, this is for shits and gigs. I can goof off. I don't need it to be perfect. I'm just doing it. I'm just getting into something else. The other thing is, okay, I want to learn more about my car, how it works. Are there things I can replace? Are there things that I can learn and do on my own? That is going to require a little bit more. It might not be as quote unquote fun, but it adds to my knowledge really and understanding of like, oh, this is something that is a skill that can help me in the future that isn't maybe necessarily inherently fun to learn, but it's something that is really good to know. That's kind of what I'm talking about, is investing yourself with knowledge and hobbies. Next one is building healthy habits. We need to talk about this from an incredibly realistic standpoint though. There's a wide variety of people on social media that are like, you have to have an incredibly strict routine. You have to eat a specific way all the time. Like it's either we hit one extreme where you're quote unquote not doing anything good for yourself and you're a piece of shit, or then we hit the other extreme where it's like you are so obsessed with health and wellness that it actually becomes unhealthy. No, we are not doing none of that. Okay. I am trying to explore my own version of this as well, but finding healthy habits that are good for you is what I encourage. I've been doing this right now. I've been going to the gym, for example, for several months, and I've been truly enjoying it, loving it. That's my healthy habit. I'm also trying to eat better, but again, have balance. Like I'm going out of way to make sure I'm getting enough calories. If I want to go out and get a fucking burger, I'm going to get it. I'm not going to restrict myself or be like that. We are not doing none of that shit. Balance, okay? Do I still every single day have not one, two double shot iced lattes every damn day? Yes, I do. I absolutely do. Okay. But balance. I chug a shit ton of water. We're making it work. I want you to look into healthy habits because I want you to feel good. It does make you feel better. And there's so many people who feel daily like shit all the time. And that makes me so sad. And so I had to sit back and be like, all right, Bella, let's pick your suck. You clearly feel like shit all the time. You know, scientifically, doing little things like this will actually help you out. It's not just about how you look, it's how you feel. That should be your focus. That should be your motivation. Now, this is going to vary for everyone because, you know, not everyone has that kind of time or wants to spend money on a gym membership. Find something that works for you. Maybe you can go to a workout class. Maybe you could do a hot girl walk in the morning or the afternoon to unwind after your day. Whatever that looks like for you, maybe incorporate some kind of movement. It doesn't need to be a lot. I know personally I've raved about at-home Pilates and I still stand by that. There's a channel that, oh gosh, I think I'll have it linked in the description below. There's a YouTube channel that I used to use constantly. That was for Pilates. I loved it so much. Or at-home workouts. People sleep on at-home workouts so much. It pisses me off. Some form of movement is good movement. You do not need a gym membership to make this happen. Second of all, slightly good changes in your routine, things that just are more beneficial to you. Maybe you have a goal of like, all right, I don't really get enough sleep. How can we incorporate that to change and get you into a healthy habit? Maybe it's we make sure that there's certain things we don't do in our room versus out in the living room. You know, maybe we don't watch TV in here. Maybe we just instead try and zone into making our bedroom as peaceful and as relaxed as we can. Maybe we turn on white noise and try and relax and fall asleep. Maybe we work on meditation. Like go out of your way to find a healthy habit that works for you, but make sure that there's a balance and don't just fall into the like, I have to be healthy, really toxic side, because there's some people who take it too far. There's some people who will go on and be like, you have to take all these supplements. Wrong. Most of the time you don't need to. There's some people that are like, you have to work out every single day of the week or 5 times a week. Wrong. You don't need to. I do it 5 times a week, but I also have incredibly good limits with it. I'm not killing myself. Some people are like, well, you have to eat super clean, or you wrong. Do what works for you. Little changes make you physically feel better and mentally feel better. And for a lot of y'all who go through struggling with mental health, who struggle with just feeling like absolute shit, physically, mentally, all of that, little changes do assist. Is it going to fix everything? Absolutely not. And again, I'm not a mental health professional, but I'm a person who has struggles with my own mental health and I get it. So I'm recommending this to you because I felt the difference and I recommend it. Finding it in your own pace and slowly building it up in whatever way that looks like. Just make changes that work for you. Next one, saving and having a budget. Now, this is going to be incredibly selective because some people cannot do this. I am going to just speak from personal experiences and just keep it real with you. I actually used to struggle with having a budget and this is so silly, but I got incredibly anxious over my financial situation years ago and I would struggle with budgeting. And it's like, I would be terrified and anxious of looking at my bank accounts. Like I used to be fucking scared of it all. I realized though, not budgeting, not looking, not just ignoring the problem does nothing. I do realize there's a severe lack of financial literacy out there, which is horrendous. And that pisses me off. I definitely think there should be more focus of that in high school. It's just any education system. It's ridiculous. I can't stress this enough. Just impulsively buying things and not thinking and not double checking is not good. It is not good. Like if you have the means to do so, or maybe if you don't and you're living above your means in an irresponsible way, there's a difference between trying to survive and being incredibly irresponsible. Those are two different things. So either way, I think a budget and just looking at what you got is important. Doing whatever you can to budget. There are many different ways that you can do that. I know there are apps. For example, I really love using Rocket Money. This is in no way sponsored, by the way. I've just used them for a long time and I personally like them. I like everything all in front of me at once. So that's something that I personally enjoyed. Going out of your way to make a budget of, okay, this is what we're doing. This is what we're sticking to. This is what our financial goals that we're going to hit. I also really recommend looking into budgeting videos again on YouTube. There are so many people on here who talk about getting into better financial situations, helping with budgeting. There's just a wealth of knowledge on YouTube that I really recommend. And I've also learned a lot by quickly searching in the YouTube search button, budgeting or learning how to budget. It's really important to just be aware of what's going on with your finances and not being so scared of them, because as someone who used to have incredible anxiety over it, it will eat you up, but it will also make it worse if you don't actually look at it. So please look at your finances. Please double check your budgeting. Just look at what you can do. And additionally, I also want to talk about savings. I like to think that every little bit counts. I used to just try and do tiny bits here and there because I really couldn't swing a lot, at all. And I recommend people doing that. I shit you not, whether it's $5 or $10, $20 a month, even a little, having a tiny bit stashed into an emergency savings, if you can, is so fucking smart. There's a lot of people that kind of think that you have to drop a shit ton of money into a savings account in order to even start one. Girl, no, you can build something and a little bit goes a long way, because honestly, if you were able to build a savings, you would rather have of maybe $100 in an account that can go towards something than nothing at all. And I think starting somewhere, I do think is incredibly beneficial if you are able to. I highly recommend it. Saving, budgeting, being aware of what's happening with your finances, not letting the anxiety get you, is very, very beneficial. And being financially educated and having financial literacy is a skill I think everyone needs to have. Next one is kind of like a mindset perspective that, oh God, I cannot yap about this enough. Embrace failure. I actually have a sibling of mine who's going to college, and I won't give too much details, but like any person that's going to go to school, you get nervous. You get nervous about failing. You get nervous about messing up. And I have been the same way. And so I was relating to him. He's trying to figure it out. It's a little scary. And I had to sit him down and just be like, hey, I fear failure. Everyone feels failure. And it kind of got me thinking, and I was like, damn, I really need to talk about this in an episode of failure, because I need everyone to perceive failure as a lesson and part of life. Failure is inevitable. And I cannot yap about that enough. You cannot avoid life without failure. Okay, you're going to fuck up. You're going to embarrass yourself. You're going to make an accident. You are going to misread something. You are going to fail. And you have to be like, I'm going to fail. You need to look at that as okay, yeah, it's a part of life. It's almost an inevitable part of being a human being. I need you to not be so scared of it though, because so many people hold themselves back because they are so scared of failure. But what I need you to not do is allow fear of failure to control you more than the fear of never doing a fucking thing. Some of y'all have so many brilliant ideas, opportunities put in front of you, just things that if they got into the right hands, if they were put into a proper position, if they were set in motion, would do so good. Some of y'all have had opportunities laid up in front of you, but you're like, fuck, what if I mess that up? Or what if I'm not good enough for that? And then you pass on them. You don't even try. Or there's some of y'all that were like, no, I don't even want to go and approach this person and shoot my shot with them because they probably would never pick me. I don't give a fuck. Try. You never know. You need to stop being so scared of failure, because that's an inevitable part of life. What isn't and shouldn't be inevitable is avoiding failure entirely, because what is life without fucking up a little bit? Truly, you can't learn, you can't progress, you can't be better. I know damn well if I didn't fail a few times, I would not be as successful as I am today, because if I didn't fail, that means I didn't try. I didn't at all try. And that really pisses me off when people zone into failure as just a complete flop. I need you to try. I need you to go for some things. There are some things that you just shouldn't be doing, and we got to know that, right? There are some things that are statistically set up to fail you. I'm not mean shooting your shot on that. I'm saying stop doubting yourself so much and holding yourself back because you're scared of fucking up and quote unquote embarrassing yourself. That is a part of life. If you want to go anywhere in life, you have to accept that failure is going to happen. At this point, I've hit a level in my mind where I'm so delusional. I will shoot my shot for fucking anything, because I'm like, what if I'm told no? All right, well, maybe I'll get it in the future. Okay, well, maybe that's not for me, but this might be. I just don't see it as a bad thing. I'm like, oh, well, if I do fail, what did I learn? I'm not going to sit here maybe over a relationship that didn't work out, be like, God, I failed. I'm just never going to love again. Now I'm going to be like, oh, okay. What did I learn? What can I do differently? How can I take this in a good way and be like, okay, what can I use this for in a positive light? What can I also be like, fuck, we're never doing that again? How can I accept any aspect of failure as a learning lesson? So we have got to stop being so scared of it and allowing fear to hold us back, because it will never allow us to be as successful. Some people won't even start being a content creator because because they're so scared of what other people think. Some people are holding themselves back from that job opportunity because, well, I just have a lot of self-doubt. Try it, damn it. The worst they can say is no. And even if they are mean about saying no, who gives a fuck? We have one life, y'all. Are you going to waste it by being scared all the time? You can't do that. You can't. You have to be more scared of not even trying, because if you don't try, there's not even a chance of failing. That's a failure right there. That's worse than not even trying. Is not doing a damn thing. I could never not do a damn thing. I have to try. And I don't care if I embarrass the hell out of myself. I'm going to attempt it, because that is going to be my way of learning and figuring it out. And maybe I'll embarrass myself and maybe you'll embarrass yourself, but you might learn something. So that way, the next time you try or you do something a little different, it might click. It might actually stick for you. Next one is network and build relationships. Oh my God. If I could yap about this for hours, I would. Networking and connecting with people when it comes to career is really, really good. Also creating like friendships that have nothing to do with that is also incredibly important. But those also can kind of overlap, okay? Because I also have friends, are literal coworkers of mine, technically, like on social media and YouTube, but we are best friends. We have got to start shooting our shot more with putting ourselves in rooms and positions that will assist in our career and connect us to things that could be really beneficial. The more that you talk and just shoot your shot and connect and network with people, you have no idea the realms of possibilities that you can land yourself in. There was one time, I think, where I was like talking and having a conversation with somebody just casually, and that landed me an incredibly good brand deal. Had I not have just literally just been a normal person, just talking and having fun and friends, I would never have been recommended for that opportunity. I literally wouldn't have. I wouldn't even probably known I existed, but I did, because I was just talking and existing. Network with people, go to things that you can connect with that are on a similar level to you, whether it's maybe like age, maybe it's career. Networking and building relationships is so significant, because one, building relationships and friendships in general is just good for your overall mental health. Having friends is important, okay? You do need that, but also networking that can benefit your career. God, the way you can make connections that could help you so much. Connections are lifesavers. They are, because I know there's some people that have connections with me where I'm like, hey, I'm a connection to yours now, and if you ever need anything, I am here for you. I've met people, for example, that were networking and had met somebody else that was actually in their field, and they were like casually saying it, like, yeah, I'm actually looking for a job right now in the industry we're in. And I shit you not, that person looked over and was like, pause, I got a job for you, 1 second. Connected them to someone, they landed an amazing job opportunity. We're downplaying the capacity that networking can have on us, and I am all about networking and making connections. It helps. It's amazing to have connections that are in your field of work, and we need to go and shoot our shot. Don't be too scared. Don't be too nervous. Who cares? Shoot your shot. Making connections is important and helpful for all things. Career, just human life, your overall well-being. Prioritize them and stop being so scared of it. Next one, learn to say no. Woo! My therapist and I were talking, and I was discussing boundaries. Calling myself out here, I sometimes could be a people pleaser, which is really awful, because I'll sit and get all of a sudden, like with people I really get close to, I get like nervous of failing them. And that's so silly to say, but my therapist was like, you got to stop being so nice. Like, you have to stop being so willing to please. You need to hold firm boundaries and stop being so damn nice to everyone. Like, you need to know when to have a balance with that. Some of y'all are like, shit, my sister's kids are over again. I can't say no. Hello, if you don't want to watch them anymore, don't be doing that. If you are someone that's dating and you're like, fuck, I don't really think I like them, but like he already took me out on a date. I don't give a rat's ass. You don't have to be there. You don't have to deal with it anymore. I do think that we deserve to give people basic human decency, but we also deserve ourselves to have boundaries, and we need to know when to hold those and to say no. No is a full sentence, by the way. If people keep negotiating your no, that's a real big problem. And I know I've talked about this before. When I had no boundaries, I was at my most miserable. When I had more and was very assertive on I deserve to speak up for myself, I felt a lot better. I feel a lot better. I held a fucking boundary, and guess what? Someone did respect it. I'm not dating them anymore. I've held a boundary. I've held a boundary before in work because I didn't like the way someone was handling something. And guess what? I didn't lose anything whatsoever. I protected myself because that's important. I've held many, many boundaries. Boundaries are there for a reason. As I've said before, if people get upset at you for holding boundaries, they're the ones that benefited off of you having none. You deserve them. I don't give a shit if it's a family member, a sibling, a coworker. Hold firm with your boundaries. boundaries. I don't give a fuck if you're called mean. I've been called mean before because I've held a boundary, and I could give a rat's ass. Call me mean, call me whatever you'd like, but I'm at peace because I held firm on my boundaries to protect myself, and that's all that matters. And if there's people that don't respect your boundaries, distance yourself from them at the bare minimum. I'm a firm believer if someone like doesn't respect my boundaries and keeps pushing it and is an asshole, I cut them off. If I tell you and I let you know and you don't give a shit, I cut them off. But some people don't like doing that. I get it. Distance yourself. Put up something to protect you, and that would be distance. Practice boundaries though. I cannot stress that enough. Next tip is only staying in the house is insane, and you need to not do that as much. I know we talked earlier about extremes. So we were talking about the health and wellness extreme, and like you can either be a quote unquote not good enough, you aren't healthy, you aren't working out, you're a lazy piece of shit. That's what people like to label the extreme. And then the other extreme is where you're actually turning into being unhealthy again because you are restrictive with your food, you are restrictive with your time in a way that's like really nuts. You work out way too much, like you hit an extreme that's insane. We also need to consider that with staying in and going out. There's this really absolute fuck ass trend on TikTok. People that go outside and go to the club and go hang out, they're the ones that get cheated on. Oh my God. Men will literally fucking suck on anything to get women to just be just a fucking cardboard cutouts that stay in the house all damn day and make a fucking Stover's meal. It's so dead. It's so stupid, and it's top tier brain rot. This concept of you have to stay inside, and the girls that stay inside and everything, they're the ones that are working the most. Stop. We should have a balance. Are you fucking kidding me? I think it's a talent and an amazing thing to have a balance. And I don't know what this stupid perspective is if you go to a club, you're just a whore, you're making out with everyone. No, I hardly drink as is. I maybe sip on something and I dance. That's it. That's all you're getting from me. I don't know what the stupid ass perspective is anyone who goes out is just about shut up. Like shut the fuck up. I'm so tired of this. We need to have a balance of staying in the house and going out. Now, some of y'all are like, damn, I only have a certain amount of energy, like my social battery. I get it. Full respect. I like to have a balance of going out and finding activities that are good with your social battery. That doesn't mean that you got to go to the club, okay? I'm not saying that. Find things that are good for you and get out of the house, because if you're stuck in the house all the time, that's not healthy. That's also not something that should be overly glorified. And should be overly glorified to, ignore your responsibilities and be out too much. And it also shouldn't be over glorified to be in the house all the time and have no social life, no friends. Having a social life and friends is healthy and important, especially if you're someone who's in a relationship or getting into one. You need something that is outside of your partner. You need a life that exists. So we need to focus on what can we do, okay? What is going to be your fun? What are things that you enjoy? I don't care if you make a list. Make a list of things right now. You are not better than or less than if you do or don't go out, all right? I need y'all to find a balance, because this whole perspective of staying in and you're better than and you're working more, you're miserable. If all you're doing is working, you have no work-life balance, you have no nothing that's going to negatively impact you in the future. I know that, okay? So you got to find out things that you can do in the house and do outside the house. I actually have a calendar now where every weekend I have it to where I need to do something outside of the house and something that's in the house. I work from home, so I really got to get out of the house. So I have a plan of like, all right, we're going to go out here and we're going to stay in and do something else. I have a balance, so that way my social battery is not absolutely shot. Maybe it's every other weekend you're going out with the girls or something. Maybe it's once a month you're going out with a girl, but just have something. Have a little bit more where you have some more human interaction, because the glorification of staying in all the time is insane. Because I'm telling you right now, whether you go in or out, a man's going to cheat. Someone's going to cheat on you. Someone's going to treat you like shit, and you don't want to be alone when that person does. You know what I mean? Like you want friends. You don't want to listen to these stupid trends. You want to listen to things that are actually healthy. Have a balance and stick to it. And anyone that demonizes you for that is insane and ridiculous, okay? If you want to get absolutely blasted every weekend, by all means do it. If you get your responsibilities done, if you're not hurting anyone, who gives a fuck? If you're not a big drinker but you still want to go out, go for it. If your fun is let's go to the farmer's market and let's get some coffee, do it. Find things that work for you. Do not let some loser on the internet demonize you for it, and have fun. This is another one, and some people might not like this, and I don't give a shit. Okay, we need to start decentering men. I know I'm gonna speak on it. Okay, I have noticed this other thing that to me, this is a life tip that has helped me out a lot. When there are people that overly center men for everything, I'm talking, oh my God, I need to act and look a certain way, otherwise I'll never get married. Like, I have to dress super modestly. I have to do this. I have to, make sure I stay in. I have to make sure that I tell them that I have all these wholesome hobbies, otherwise someone won't look at my direction. I have to do all these things. I have to make sure that they know I can cook. We have got to start decentering men big time. When I was younger, I had a big focus on it because I think a lot of girls can say that they were raised in the perspective of finding your Prince Charming and getting married. That was a big thing. Sadly, in our world, I do think with the patriarchy, there's a huge focus on men and what we got to do to make them happy and keep them. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. We got to stop focus on it. We got to stop caring as much about attention from men. I mean, of course, you got to care if it's dangerous, but caring about what they think. We don't need to be doing all that, because I'm going to tell you right now, there's men that hate on porn stars. We get watch porn stars all the time. There's men that hate on modesty because it's too much, but then yet want their girl to, who cares? The right person's going to love you for who you are, but you got to start decentering that perspective and focus on you and your friends and zone into that. Because when you overly center a group like that, that's just unhealthy, like in general for anyone. That's way too much. That starts leading into the pick me shit where we're not actually thinking about what we need to want. We want to get picked so bad. That's not healthy. And falling into that pick me shit and choosing and making decisions about every aspect of you all for an imaginary man is nuts to me. That's so unhealthy. And I wish I decentered sooner, because also it created healthy standards for me and made me realize like my value does not come from a man's attention. My value does not come from that. It comes from me. And not a lot of people are taught that. And that's incredibly unfortunate. And again, this is not to be like, I'm not trying to say that every man's attention is bad. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the serious focus on men, and I need to do this to attract men. I need to do, no, absolutely not. The videos that are like, here's ways to keep a man. Here's ways to make sure you don't get cheated on. Here's ways to attract a, I don't give a fuck. The right one's going to be a good one. If not, I don't really care. I'm not going to worry about how to get someone. I'm going to be me. I'm not going to worry about if this skirt pisses a man off. I don't give a fuck. I could care less what he has to say. Like, this is for me. I'm happy. And decentering that perspective is life-changing. It's freeing. You don't sit here and think, oh, what's this guy going to think of me? What's this? What do you think about them? That's what we need to be thinking. What do you think? How do you feel? What does dressing like this, how does that make you feel? Do you want to do that? And if you do, great. If not, don't do it. And there's nothing wrong with wanting male attention. There's nothing wrong with wanting attention from that. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But I'm talking about, again, man, I swear this video has so many trends. Healthy balance. Zoning in and turning into a pick me is fucking insane. Not normal. Not healthy. That's also not safe. When people are so men zone and like that is not a good perspective to have. That's not something I encourage anyone to do. For anyone of any gender, that's not normal. You need to zone into what makes you happy in life, what makes you joy. And I'm not saying everyone in the world thinks this way, but I've met people, and I used to be one of those people of thinking that was such a significant thing for a man to like me. That was so important. I had to be married. I had to do this. I had to do all of these. Like I remember when I was young, I was a teenager, literally Googling ways to be more attractive according to a man. Like fucking insane. I know. And there's so many girls and women that I know that probably were raised in that perspective, but might still be doing that. And it might be unconscious, but I'm trying to just bring awareness to, don't think you got to do that. Don't think you have to. Do things that make you and bring you joy. Because when I started focusing on more of me, when I stopped focusing less on how to attract somebody else, I'm just going to be me. And if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. The peace, relief, my joy kicked in so much more because I wasn't doing something for another person that was imaginary that I didn't even know was going to be my person or not. I wasn't doing that just to care. I was doing things because I was just happy and I liked it and I enjoy it more. I remember when I got my nipples pierced, I didn't get that for a guy. I got that because it was cool. Like my tattoos, I didn't get this for a man. I got this because this was fun. The way I dress, this isn't for male gaze. This is for the girls. It made me feel a billion times better. So start decentering, okay? I'm just saying it works, okay? Last but certainly not least, finishing up this podcast episode, learn to be okay with being alone. I know I want to make a podcast episode talking about being alone, learning to be alone, but a lot of y'all need to, and this is life-changing, this is game-changing, learn to be alone. Too many people are in unhealthy relationships and friendships because they are terrified of being by themselves. And I think actually that's another reason why people doom scroll is because sitting in their own silence or in silence alone is too scary. Don't get me wrong. I have done all these things, by the way. I've been in bad friendships and relationships and doom scrolled to hell because I felt miserable and I wasn't taking action. I was more like, I can't be alone with my thoughts. I can't be alone. You have to unlearn that. Your biggest strength is you. Your biggest strength is knowing your capacity and being able to do these things by yourself, and anything else is a bonus. So get comfortable with doing things on your own is going to help you become a stronger person, I feel like. I think truly I am a stronger person because I got comfortable with being alone. Because my world is not flipped upside down that I'm not dating someone. It's not. I'm okay. The world keeps fucking spinning. My world is not turned upside down when I have big life changes happen and I'm by myself. I know what I'm capable of doing. I know that I'm good. I know that I've got myself, and that's all that matters. I also have my friends, which is really amazing. But at the end of the day, I have so much faith and trust in myself to get it done. I don't have to sit here and have someone around just even in the same vicinity as me to know that I'm going to be okay. And there's way too many people that need someone in their vicinity to know that they themselves would be okay. And I need you to unlearn that. And to me, this is one of the biggest life-changing tips ever, because being more sure of yourself and your capacity and being comfortable with just you makes you stronger. I truly think it makes you stronger. And I think there's so many ways of doing it, but it starts with believing that you're capable, believing in yourself. It starts with acknowledging that who comes into your life or leaves your life, you will be okay and you will be fulfilled on your own. It starts with maybe doing things by yourself too, to try and cultivate that perspective of you can have fun by yourself. That is a superpower, to be comfortable being by yourself. And when you have that, oh my God, your standards grow. You feel so much stronger. When your pieces disturb them because you are so comfortable with being by yourself, you don't want to accept the bare minimum anymore. That has impacted the way that I've dated now. It has changed my life. I could have been fucking miserable and sad and like, God, the world's gonna end. It's not. It literally is not. I'm like, okay, well, that didn't work out. That person wasn't good for me. Yikes. And I just move on. It's not that deep. Like, I don't feel devastated. Oh my God, I'm nothing without. I am everything by myself. I am so good. I cannot lose just being me. I can only add by having another person in my life. I want y'all to try and practice that. And I think I've yapped about this probably several different episodes, but I can't stress that enough, because feeling that empowerment of the world has not ended yet, because I am taking care of my own world and I am safe in my own world, it is the most amazing feeling ever. So that was it for today's episode. We covered so many different topics, 10 different things and tips that I recommend that are life changing. Maybe you can zone into some of these in the last 4 months of this year. See what you can do. Comment down below if you have some tips as well. I would love to hear. But thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to leave a 5-star review down in Spotify, or if you're watching, please go down to Spotify in the link in the description below and review. I would be so grateful. And I will see you guys in the next episode. And don't forget that I've got you. Bye.